everyone. Hope this video finds you well, happy, and fulfilled. I know we just came out of our Thanksgiving holiday, and hopefully everything went well for everyone. I didn't fully celebrate it, but I did have an opportunity to spend time with my family, particularly my children. They're all kind of scattered all over Florida, and some went up north, but it was a pleasure to be able to spend time with them. So I was thinking about the times that I used to celebrate Thanksgiving, and I just remember some crazy moments, and wanted to kind of, share some of my thoughts and experiences with you guys while I sit here waiting on my boys to come out of the barber shop. So basically, I remember my aunt. She used to be very big on desserts, but one particular Thanksgiving, she decided to focus on the macaroni and cheese. Now, typically, I'm the one that make the macaroni and cheese, and I try to give it a little more of a kick, give it a little kick so it won't have that boring cheese bland taste. And so I went ahead and made the macaroni and cheese, but she was like, well, I'm gonna make my own pan. And so she made her macaroni and cheese, and she took a bite out of it, and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe that it came out nasty. So as soon as I put my pan in the kitchen on the counter, she gonna sneak and blend her macaroni and cheese in with my macaroni and cheese. Like we ain't gonna see the difference, because mine was more cheesier, almost more like the Stouffer's macaroni and cheese, but more with a very firm texture. And hers was more like crumbly and falling apart. And like I said, didn't have a taste. But it's like everybody was like laughing, but at the same time, it was mad with her because she just messed up like the major part of the Thanksgiving meal. Let's see, another crazy moment I can remember. This is when I first started learning more about how to cook and make recipes. I remember I followed the recipes. Like I made turkey, I made some type of cherry tart dessert. We made stuffing and we was hooking it up. I mean, it was, at the time, me and my ex. And so we laid everything out perfectly on the table. It was looking so appealing and looking so delicious. And everything tasted like it was supposed to be thrown away. It just did not have no taste. The turkey was dry. And so that's when I started focusing more on either frying my turkey in peanut oil or brining my turkey. So that's kind of what I had to learn from my mistakes and stuff like that. So, but basically, I had some very interesting, funny, not so funny Thanksgiving experiences. So, but I believe my last Thanksgiving dinner was 6-7 years ago, or maybe 8. I remember it was late in the evening, and typically what our family does, we kind of treat Thanksgiving like a potluck. So, one person will be responsible, the person that have less money, they'll just get the paper plates and the plastic, the eating utensils. And then, another person will probably bring in a dessert. Another person will bring in like the main course and so forth. So, I made my potato salad. I made, my sweet potato pie. I made my turkey better. Everything was all good. And so me and my family, we were ready to go. We were ready to get on down. And we typically try to eat around 5, because when you're eating a heavy meal, you don't want to eat late in the evening, because then everybody complaining about stomach aches, and then I got to go get Pepto, and all kinds of stuff got to take place. And so when I was supposed to meet up with a family member, and we were supposed to combine our stuff together, this family member was still out shopping, like Thanksgiving shopping. And here we go, 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon, nothing ain't been prepared on their end, but they still out there shopping. And so I said, you know what, since they did bring in some things, some items, already had some items sitting on the counter, I said, I'll go ahead and help get it started. And so I went ahead and put a large pot on, getting the collard greens nice and ready. And, that was just my way of helping, because, the kids was getting restless and they were ready to eat. And so when the family member come back in from the store with a whole lot of groceries, they looked in the pot and it was like, I don't put all this water in the pot on top of my collard greens. I fry my collard greens before I put water and before I season it. And I'm like, well, in my mind, I was taught to clean my collard greens, after I get them and cut them up, clean them, wash them up, and then chop them up, and then put so much water in the pot, and then put the greens in there. Sometimes I will add, my turkey meat or whatever smoked meat that I would put in with the water, but that's pretty much what I do. I don't fry it, and some people do theirs differently, but it was like, it turned into a very ugly reality show because the person went off on me, and then on top of that, I felt like I was being attacked by other family members. You should have just waited. I'm like, well, my kids, I don't feed my kids late, especially when they're eating a whole lot of different items. I just don't do that. So basically, it had got so ugly. The words got so just bad to where I just grabbed my turkey and grabbed my items and I hit the road, Jack. Because it's like when I have a certain thing in order, we communicated that we were going to do it in a particular way. I don't do that good with change, especially when it's not just affecting me, it's affecting other people that's a part of me. So that was particularly my last real Thanksgiving with my immediate family. And so over the years, I kind of just left holidays alone because I felt like it was just a headache for me. And it seemed like every time I get around family, it's either I'm competing or somebody secretly hating on me, or somebody saying something slick and sarcastic out the mouth, but it's supposed to be like some kind of inside joke. It's like, who got time for that? What kind of energy? That's not even the kind of energy we're supposed to have when we're coming together, especially when people struggling trying to come together with food. A lot of people don't have it like that, where they can just bring in a lot of groceries and a lot of food, especially if they have a big family. And then when they get there, everybody trying to be funny. Are they trying to pick on your stuff? Are they trying to pick around your stuff? Are they trying to take advantage of your stuff? Like fixing 5 plates for a homeboy or a homegirl, and they ain't even put in and chip in. So that's kind of why I just said, you know what? I'm going to let these Europeans that created this holiday, I'm going to let them have it. And then I'll just enjoy my family throughout the years as much as I possibly can. Oh, I didn't even know I was missing the earring, but it's okay. I can still hear. So, but basically this video really wasn't to just be negative, because I really love family gatherings. I was basically the main person that was big on it, always trying to bring the family together. Was hoping one day we do a family reunion, but when people, I guess, branch off and they already got their life going in one city and another family, I just said, you know what, if it's meant for us to come together, it's meant for us to come together. But I wanted to say to people that do not have a family, maybe they might be a foster family, maybe a foster person, or grew up in a foster home, or they might be going through kind of what I'm going through, where you go through a spiritual awakening and you say, the hell with all that kind of stuff. Just realize that your family that birthed you in this world, your biological family, don't feel any type of burdens or hard feelings because you are not able to connect with those same members. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you got to walk around bitter and hate them and things like that, but understand that sometimes the divine or things happen in our universe that's unexplainable. Sometimes people that put you and birth you in this world, they're only meant to be in your life for a certain amount of time. And then after that, it's almost like a guide. You learn from a lot of the BS and the mistakes or whatever, and then you go off, you start your own life in your own family, and you may develop better family members. You might end up running into a godmother, or you might end up having a best friend and their family becomes your family. Or maybe you might run into a great partner that have welcoming family members, and they're willing to share what they have with you, even though you're not their biological family member. So just keep that in mind. Find your comfort in that family homey feeling the best way you can. Don't feel less than because you don't have this traditional idea of what the society tell you was a normal family. Sometimes it can get to the point to where, you say, man, F all of it, because you can put so much time, so much love into people. You try to pour into others. You try to uplift others. You try to share your time. You try to share everything you can with other family members and friends. And then they turn around and still give you your ass to kiss, give you their ass to kiss. And that is not something that you got to be okay with. It's okay to say no. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to love from a distance. If you want to have a peace of mind, if you don't want to lose your mind, sometimes you got to go to that extent. Let me tell you some of my experiences with some family. And no, this is not to degrade or talk down on my family, because I love them. They all played a role in my life. And sometimes when they make poor choices and it affects me, it helps me grow. So this ain't really about, oh, cry me a river, or, everybody have pity for my story. It's just for you to understand how somebody's weakness can be your strength. It just depends on how you alchemize it. There's times where, I did so many favors because I wasn't looking for anything in return. I did it because of the kindness of my heart. One thing I can say that I learned as I was, a part of the Christian community is just trying to be pure and genuine with others, no matter what kind of sin they have, what kind of situation they have going on. Even though we still had the judgmental side, I ain't gonna even erase that part, but we still wanted to connect with those type of people that's low vibrational, so we can build each other up, so we can learn from each other. And so I can remember when and let me tell you what triggered this thought process, because I recently picked up my boys from spending time with their mother and their grandmother, and they kind of had a unit on their face like, man, I wanted to stay with her, but under certain circumstances, I had to get them to understand that this is not a rule that I put in place. This is something that was put in place because of somebody's behavior and choices. And so they really didn't quite get it, because that's the kind of expression they was like, huh? And I said, well, let me break it down for you. I said, some people are blessed with parents that know how to do what they need to do according to the governmental law. They know how to make sure that the children are not being abused. They're not being exposed to a very unhealthy, toxic environment. They know how to make sure that they monitor their kids and supervise their kids closely to make sure that they're not being introduced to something that's detrimental to their brain, like, maybe pornography, or maybe being around somebody who did time in prison. But then when they get out, they play a role. Like, they want a relationship, but turn around, they kind of want little boys. Those are choices that people can make. And not that, like I said, people make good choices and bad choices. Either way it go, it brings change in our lives, no matter what. It can be a good change, it can be a bad change, but it does bring change in our lives. And so when that take place, when, the parent is neglecting the child, the parent is being very defiant to the law, order, and only care about themselves or care about other things, that putting other things before their children, then this is kind of why there are certain things put in place to where you can't undo it. You really can't undo it, because bridges have been burnt. And so I'm doing the best I can to help the children. I'm trying to do whatever I can to help ease the transition and to support family, regardless of how effed up it can be. That's all I'm trying to do. But let me go back a little bit. This is kind of why I decided, I guess maybe this is my bad experiences is what caused me to be who I am today. And it ain't just about being bitchy, because I'm not ashamed to claim that. I can be when I need to be. But this is about when I was a young girl, all I ever wanted was family. And I did grow up around family, but it wasn't, I guess in my mind, when I used to watch the Brady Bunch, or I used to watch the Bill Cosby Show, that was my idea of family. And so, unfortunately, I didn't get that kind of family. I got, my hardcore Christian family mixed in with a little bit of sinners. And so when, as I was growing into, my childhood and learning more about family, when I seen my parent, I'll just say my parent, go through some very rough times with depression, with substance abuse and things like that, my heart wanted to make a change. And even though I was a very young girl and didn't even know where to begin to make a change, I just knew life could be better. And like I said, maybe because my mind was, I wanted to have a mother just like, oh my God, what Felicia Rashad, I think that's her name. That's the kind of idea I had in my mind. So I'm thinking, by me speaking up, by me, standing up for what's right and how my family should be, or I had faith that my family can be better than the way it is, I got the bad end of the deal, because basically I was kind of left hanging in so many ways. Like, I was considered the snitch. I was the black sheep. I was like, how dare you speak on things that happen in my household? And I'm like, I wasn't trying to gossip. I wasn't trying to make your life harder than what it was. I, in my mind, was told that I can speak up. My words bring change. And that's what I wanted. I wanted change in my life. I wanted change in your life. And in order for change to happen in my life, I wanted to make sure you get change. Change happens in your life. And so growing up throughout my years with that type of heavy feeling of, dog, speaking up for what's right was actually wrong, it just had me distorted and looking at life in a very negative, dark way. Because it's like, even when I was in school, like if I was to tell a teacher that somebody is touching me or bothering me the wrong way, it would make that person madder, and then they want to come at me even, harder or be more of a bully. So it's like, it's a catch-22 when you're speaking up for what's right. And so as time went on, I had to walk around with certain scars, because in my mind, I was told that speaking up for what's right is not quite right, but it's really right, but it's not right to the other person that I'm speaking up about. And so I had to carry a lot of inner wounds and a very, just very negative thought process as I went on. And so I'm thinking, okay, let me escape that kind of lifestyle. And then, I did run into the arms of somebody that actually had the same type of mentality. The only difference is they offered physical sexual healing instead of emotional mental healing, because you can't expect anybody to offer that when they lack that themselves. Just like with my parent, I couldn't expect them to offer that when they lacked that themselves. They didn't even get it themselves. And so I had to kind of live with that. And so in my mind, okay, I'm just going to create my own family. Even though I know this is not the best environment, for my mental health, I'm still going to just fight through it and create my own family. And I did. I created my beautiful 4 children. I also took care of my stepdaughter. And so the same situation happened. I pour into other people's kids. I try to make sure they have everything they need, trying to make sure they're not neglected, trying to make sure I offer wisdom, advice to whatever they're going through, try to help their transition smooth over, because they were put in a position where their parent was beating on them out of anger because their parent was beaten on and was frustrated with their lifestyle. And then all of that just trickled all the way down to now it drops in my lap, and I'm being told that, okay, I can't stand up for what's right. I can't put my foot down. I can't discipline. I can't speak up on how a mother should treat a daughter. I couldn't do much of anything but sit back and get the bad end of the deal. And so now I'm targeted as, okay, I'm the bad person. I'm the one that's speaking up about too much, and I want to keep secrets to myself. And so that's another type of wound that I had to carry on into my young adulthood. And so basically, what I want people to understand, like I said, it's not about pity. It's not about, trying to be a sellout. It's about just knowing when there's a point in time in life where you have to just say, fuck it all and fuck you too. It's got to be that way, because if you don't, you will lose yourself trying to save other people that really don't want to be saved. It's so many things that I can explain that I dealt with throughout my life. And that's why I said it's a spiritual warfare, because when you look at me, when you see this cute little face, you say, oh, she don't look like she been through nothing. Well, some people don't always carry outer wounds. You don't see black eyes. You don't see bruises around the neck, which I've had before. You don't see it, but the wounds are carried in here and in the heart. And it causes a lot of people to block out love and to put up this persona where, you want to act one way, but you really, really want to be kind. You really, really want to be polite and share ideas and share your resources. You really want to do that. But people will play a role and until they can take advantage of you. And then now you trapped in a web of lies. You trapped in a web of gaslighting. You trapped in a web of, trying to figure out, okay, I want to make everybody happy. I want to be this, I want to fit in, but no matter what you do, it just is it's just going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? So this is why I say you got to take care of your mental health, especially around family. You got to protect yourself. You got to believe in yourself, because people will take your kindness for weakness, and don't think much of it. One time I allowed a very close family member of mine, and I miss hanging with this was almost like my best friend, But I remember there was a time where, this family member needed over $100 for something, and I didn't have it. I did not have it. And I don't know if I mentioned this in a older video, but I'm tying it in because I'm just getting you to understand why I'm saying everything that I'm saying. It kind of matches more with this video. I said, hey, I don't have it, but I know I have probably an extra 3 days that I can kind of stretch before I pay my light bill. So I'm gonna give you my light bill money, and I'm gonna trust that you're gonna pay me back when you get paid. Like you said, I'm taking your word for it. So I go ahead and take my light bill money and I lend it on out to a family member that really needed it. All right. So time came around, and this family member did not come through on the day that they said it was going to come through. And then on top of that, now it ain't like I kept calling and begging and nagging. I just called on that day, and I'm saying, okay, look, I don't want to be in the dark, so I need to know. And so the person went off and said, look, I'm going to treat you just like I do with my other bill collectors. You going to wait until I get it, and that's just it. So I'm like, what the hell? Do this person realize what I just sacrificed? Believing and trusting in their words? But they going off on me like I'm doing something wrong when I'm asking for my stuff back, and you told me you was going to give it back in this particular time frame. So that's what I'm saying. I had to go borrow from something else in order to get it paid. But eventually they did pay me back. But it's just the fact that I shouldn't even have to go through that. I shouldn't even have to go through making a phone call to find out what's going on. I shouldn't even have to get any type of sarcastic response. But this is what happens when... Here's the thing. When you know yourself, you can kind of look at that situation and say, you know what? This person right here is going through something and it don't even have nothing to do with me. And see, back then I didn't know myself. So I took it very personal, and it told me not to lend out no more money. I was no more. I just won't do that no more. Because when you expecting somebody to pay you back because they said it was going to pay you back, that's bullcrap. When you already know they're struggling in the first place. Yeah, like I was saying, sometimes, when you grow to learn more about yourself and then you go back through that spiritual side, the spiritual awakening. I ain't talking about the watered down religion that Europeans gave us, the Christians. I'm talking about when you learn more about why things happen and why it's not just about people behavior, but just nature, about when you start questioning life and why people are born the way they're born. And when you start looking deep into nature and the universe, that's when you come to the reality and realize that people are not here to be the way you want them to be. People are here to serve their own purpose. Once you get that through your head, whether it's your mama, whether it's your daddy, your grandmother, your grandparents, it doesn't matter who you are involved with, who you're interacting with. Once you realize that people got their own destiny, and the secret to fulfilling your destiny, maybe, not just solo, but with someone else, you have to know how to work around your differences. You have to know when there's a point in time where, okay, I see I gave you an inch, you took a yard, so I'm stopping to this point. Not that I love you any less, not that I gotta be bitchy, not that I gotta be hateful, but I just know I gotta set boundaries. I gotta set boundaries, and then we can continue to work together, but we just know certain boundaries are set in place. And if you still cross those boundaries, then that means it's time for me to move on to another to another team or another partner. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, it does bother me sometimes. I do miss the laughter and the jokes and, doing family things. Like I used to always try to, record or do vlogging for Thanksgiving, or sometimes we'll play some type of charade game or something like that. I miss those interactions, but then at the end of it, I don't miss being judged. I don't miss somebody trying to figure out what's going on in my life so they can have something to talk about or compare my life to their life. I don't miss people just not really doing things with passion. You know what I mean? Like back then, like when my grandmother used to make peach cobbler, oh my God, I miss her peach cobbler so bad. And I cannot imitate that for nothing in this world. But I can get close to it, but it's just something about the way she make it. And she make the crust just thick and just glazed just right. But the thing is, that's when cooking was done with passion. That's when people really just cook with love and that soul, not just, okay, let me just throw it together because I just don't feel like cooking anyway, and I just hope nobody don't complain. That's not the kind of energy I want to be eating. And today it just seemed like it's a repetitive thing of watching people eat and suffer, and that bothers me as well. I don't miss that. I don't miss, even though my grandma knew how to make some good old ham. We had a lot of ham hocks and neck bones and all the best part of the pork. And she knew how to season it up real good. But just to watch my family eat it, enjoy it, and then suffer at the end, I don't miss that. I don't miss seeing somebody laying in the hospital with a whole lot of tubes tied to them. Oh, I'm sorry. Fighting through strokes, fighting through heart attacks. I don't miss that. So, I miss my grandma. Yeah. I miss seeing her being happy and well. And I didn't even cry at a funeral. And so much I wish I could have said. And I think that's the part that we miss, not just me. It's just the fact that we shouldn't have to wait until Thanksgiving to show love, because you just never know. My grandmother, she died late winter. So a lot of us say, you know what, we ate a good Thanksgiving meal with grandma, a nana, a big mama. So we don't have to be in touch. We don't have to talk to her. We don't got to check on her until Easter. We don't got to meet up till the 4th of July. Or wait on Mother's Day, or wait on a birthday. But you just never know. You just never know when it's time for them to go. I didn't always have a perfect relationship with my grandmother, but she was the mother I knew. And I know that she had her own struggles. Who can survive Jim Crow and all that BS? So a lot of us was pushed to the American holidays because we was looking for some type of happiness and some type of way to feel free and connected. So I get it. I totally get it. But I also know energy is very important. And when you get drained of your energy from stressing over a whole lot of extra BS that people throwing at you, the political people throwing at you, the government throwing at you, after a while, you ain't gonna be no good. Once all of your energy has been exhausted. So basically, I just wanted to come on to share a lot of my deep inner thoughts, a lot of things that I wish someone would have took out the time to tell me, to teach me. We're all not fortunate enough to have someone with wisdom, good wisdom, and high vibration to give good advice. But I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for my crazy uncles getting drunk and still sharing some laughs and jokes, even though they were trying to drink misery away. I'm just, a lot of stuff I don't get, I don't quite understand. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, but I am so grateful. I am truly grateful for the life that I have, my life, health, and strength, And sometimes when you're feeling blue, you're feeling down, depressed, sometimes you got to go and look in the mirror and speak that affirmation over your life. Nobody else will. No matter how much they say I love, it's nothing better than self-love. So with that being said, be easy. I hope that the rest of 2025 is good to you. So peace out.